Mm, okay. My topic is gun control, and the first time I talked about is gun laws in early America. Okay, the regulation on firearm ownership in early America varied from colony to colony. Generally, colonists were required to own firearms and to participate in local militias. However, in some colonies, such as Virginia, free Amer- free African Americans were not allowed to own firearms. The Second Amendment to the United States Constitution, which guarantees the right to bear arms, was ratified in 1791. The regulation on firearm ownership in early America is important to the U.S. history because it reflects the complex relationship between individual rights and public safety. The debate over gun control and the Second Amendment continues to this day, with advocates on both sides of the issue arguing for their respective positions. And for my thesis, it talks about how American gun laws were created as early as the 1600s, and it helped promote public safety. And not until like the 1970s, some states in the Union started to give law enforcement discretion to like grant license to people who pass like background checks. And so that leads to my next topic about the concealed carry laws. In 1979, the state of Illinois became the first state in the U.S. to pass a law allowing concealed carry of firearms, which then many other states have passed similar laws. And the debate over concealed carry laws and gun control have become a heated issue in American politics then and to this day. Concealed carry laws are important to the U.S. for several reasons. Concealed carry laws reflect the ongoing tension between individual rights and public safety. Supporters of concealed carry laws argue that it is a fundamental right of an individual to like carry a firearm for self-defense, while like opponents argue that like it possesses a significant risk to like public safety and it can lead to more violence. Concealed carry laws have become an issue in the border debate over gun control and the Second Amendment. People of concealed carry laws argue that it is a necessary component of the right to bear arms, while others argue that it is dangerous and a necessary extension of that right. Since 1979, this is my thesis. Concealed carry laws, like related to gun control, to like help determine like who would be able to carry a concealed weapon in public. And the next one I'm going to talk about on top is the Brady Law. So, like, the Brady Law is a federal law that was passed in 1993 with the aim of reducing gun violence in, like, the United States. The law requires background checks on individuals who wish to, like, purchase firearms from licensed dealers, and it also established a 5-day waiting period for handgun purchases, like which you have to like wait 5 days for them to do a background check on you. And the Brady Law is important to the U.S. because it helps to reduce the number of firearms that fall into the hands of criminals and domestic abusers and any other dangerous individuals. By requiring background checks and waiting periods, the law makes it more difficult for individuals who are prohibited from owning firearms to obtain them. Um, since the passing of the Brady Law, where law enforcement can conduct background checks if they have any suspicion that a buyer is going to turn around and sell the gun to someone else. There have been increasingly stricter laws that came into play when the extreme risk law was passed in 1999, which gives law enforcement to take away the guns from those who seem unfit to carry them. Therefore, these laws together help prevent small and large-scale tragedies related to shootings. And getting on to my next one, talking about extreme risk laws. Extreme risk laws allow law enforcement officials to obtain a court order or to temporarily remove firearms from individuals who pose a risk to themselves or others. The first extreme risk law was passed in Connecticut in 1999 in response to a mass shooting at the Connecticut Lottery headquarters. Since then, 19 other states and the District of Columbia have passed similar laws. The laws vary from state to state, but generally they allow family members, law enforcement officials, and mental health professionals to petition the court to remove firearms from individuals who are exhibiting dangerous behavior. These laws are important to the U.S. for several reasons. First, they help to prevent gun violence from allowing individuals who are deemed to be at risk to themselves or others to be temporarily disarmed, and can be particularly important in cases where individuals are experiencing a mental health crisis and are at risk of harming themselves or others. And my thesis talks about after passing the extreme risk law in 1999, the federal government worked to tighten gun control by having the ability to remove firearms from those who pose to be a threat to themselves or the community. And my second to last one talks about Governor Gavin Newsom's, when he signs the new measures to protect Californians from gun violence. And he did this and he aimed at reducing gun violence in the state. Governor Newsom has made gun control a priority during this time in office, and he has also expressed support for the federal ban on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. These measures are important to the U.S. for several reasons. First, California is one of the largest and most populous states in the country, and its policies often have a ripple effect on other states and the federal government by taking strong action to reduce gun violence. California is setting an example for other states by demonstrating that it is possible to balance public safety with individual rights. And my thesis talks about since Gavin Newsom has been in office, California citizens have been protected by not allowing minors to be in possession of firearms and gun ownership. And my last one, I'm going to talk about when guns in school in California. In California, it is illegal to possess firearms on school grounds, with some exceptions for law enforcement officers and individuals with a valid concealed carry permit. However, on June 5th, 2023, a student brought a gun to a high school in Southern California and opened fire, injuring several students and staff members. The incident has promoted renewed calls for stricter gun control measures and increased the school safety measures in California and across the country. The presence of gun in schools has been a source of concern and controversy in the U.S. for several reasons. One of the most significant is the risk of gun violence and accidents, while proponents of arming teachers argue that it can help to prevent school shootings. There is little evidence to support this claim, and many experts warn that it can actually increase the risk of violence and accidents. In addition to the risk of violence and accidents, the presence of gun in schools, it can also be it can create hostile learning environment and undermine students' safety and the well-being. Students may also feel anxious or fearful in a school while guns are present, and the presence of firearms can disrupt the students' learning environment or create distractions for them.